All right, kids, here we go. This is the lesson for today. We're doing elimination using addition and subtraction. And this is stuff that you've probably seen before, but I want to do a couple of these examples and maybe a couple of the word problems for you so we can get you through the class and so that you got something to like play and rewind and work through, so you got some guidance through here. So here we go. So I'll just go through this example here. So when you're doing elimination, really what's going on is you're trying to find the intersection of the two lines that are listed, okay? But rather than turn them into y is equal to mx plus b form like you had it before, we're just going to have it in this ax plus by is equal to c form for both of them. And we're going to eliminate one of the variables by either using addition or subtraction. So these two are kind of set up for us already, but the first little step that you're going to want to do is if these aren't lined up, x's and x's and y's and constants, is to go and put them into that form. So I'm just going to rewrite it out again here the way it was because I already have it that way. Okay, and now you're going to look for one of the variables to eliminate. So let's see. The ones that line up kind of nice here, I can see that if I add these two up, it's just going to give me 0y. So if I add those two up, that means I can add all the other ones up and make an equality. So I'm going to add x, 1x, right, plus 3x is equal to 4x. And then negative 3y plus 3y gives me 0y, or just 0, right? And I add these two up and I get 16. Okay? So because I got 0y there, I got nothing, 0. And now I can solve for x. So 4x is equal to 16. So x is going to equal 4. So remember, what's going on here is that you're finding coordinates for a point. So I've started this coordinate already. Oh, it's actually already drawn down here, okay, to our solution. But I've already found the x part. So now I want to take this and I want to resubstitute it back into either the first or the second one so that I can find the y variable. Now, I just kind of use the one that has the least amount of stuff in it. So I like that this one just says x in it, so that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to rewrite that equation, and rather than writing in x, I'm just going to leave a little space for it. I'm going to substitute that x into there, and now I'm going to go ahead and solve for the y. And y is equal to negative 1 there in the end. Now, the beauty about these is that you really should, you should really never get them wrong because you can always check your answers. So if I've got x is 4 and y is negative 1 as a solution, it's a solution for both of these equations. So when I substitute those two numbers in for their respective x's and y's, it should make both of these equations true. So let's do a check here. Okay, so I'm going to go something in for x minus 3 and something in for y should equal 7. And I've got them here. So 4 minus 3 times minus 1, two negatives makes a positive, gives me 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. I know that that's true. So I'm pretty confident now that my answers are right. Okay, and you can go back in and check in the other one, but it's just a nice little way to verify your answers. Okay, let's try one more in here. Let's go with number 2. Okay, so in this one, I can see, so you got to choose which variable you want to get rid of. So these are already kind of set up for us. So I can see that those two there are gonna, when I add them up, it's going to give me a 0x. So negative 2, and then I'm just going to go and add for each of these. So negative 2x plus 2x gives me that 0x that I'm looking for. So this time I'm going to end up finding y first. Here in this question I found x first. It doesn't matter which one you find first. Okay? Just realize that when you go to do your solution, it's that one that you're getting off the jump. Okay, so now I'm going to go 2y plus minus y, it's just 2y minus y, gives me plus y, is equal to, and then 9 plus minus 6, 9 minus 6 gives me 3. So y is equal to 3. Okay, and so I get that spot, right? Then I'm just going to go in, and again, I kind of like this one because it's got y as just one variable, I don't have to multiply anything. So I'm going to go 2x minus the y that I've got, I'm going to stick in there, is equal to minus 6. So, and then I'm going to solve for it. So 2x is equal to minus 6 plus 3 gives me minus 3. So x is equal to a bit of a fraction here, minus 3 over 2. Okay, so let's see if that one goes in there. Okay, and now I can go and check my answer again. So let's try that over here. Okay, so check. Okay, so I've got, now I'm going to put it into this one just to make it a little simpler. So I got 2 times something minus something should equal minus 6. So if I put minus 3 halves in here, which was my x, and my 3 in here, I can see these 2's are going to cancel out, right? So I'm going to get minus 3, and in fact does equal minus 6. That's awesome. Okay, so that's looking pretty good there. Let's try a little word problem here next. I think I'm going to leave these other 4 for you to do as exercises. They're all kind of the same. Okay, but I'm going to do a word problem with you here so you can kind of get a taste of that. So let's just get it all centered up here. Away we go. Okay, so they're talking about 2 people here. Rima is older than Ken, and the difference of their ages is 12, and the sum of their ages is 50. Okay, find each age. So what you're trying to do is, I see 2 different situations with these ages. So we're going to just likewise, like one of these systems, we're going to set up a system where we've got 2 statements that are true, and then we can find the two variables. So it says that Rima is older than Ken. I'm just going to call Rima R. Okay, and so it says that the difference of their ages is 12. So if Rima is older, that means that Rima minus Ken is going to equal a positive 12, right? Okay, if we went Ken minus Rima, it would be minus 12 because Rima's got to be older. Okay, so that's my first little statement. And now it's saying that the sum of their ages, Rima plus Ken, needs to equal 50. Okay, so we're already set up. Okay, so I can see that if I add these 2 up, I'm going to get a 0 for K. So let's solve for R first. So 2 R's is going to equal, looks like around 62 here. And I go and divide, so Rima must be 31. Okay, so same thing. I see that Rima's 31. I can go back into either of these now and check it out. If she's 31, minus K is equal to 12. Okay, I can see that K is going to equal around 19 if I use this one. I can also go check it in the other one, and I think everybody can probably see that if I put Rima as 31 here, 50 minus 31 is also going to give me 19. Okay, so does it make sense? Is she 12 years older than Ken? Sure she is. 31 minus 19 is going to give me 12. And if I add both of these up, it's also going to give me 50. So just to sum it up here, you always want to write your answer in a bit of a sentence or a statement here. So we know that Rima is 31 years old and Ken is 19 years old. Looks pretty good. All right, let's give that a flip and see what's on the other side here. So the second page here is no different than the first. It's just that instead of using addition to deal with my variable here, I'm going to use subtraction. Okay, so in this first example, I can see that 2x and 5x, if I subtract or add those, I'm still going to get an x. So that's the one I want to look for. But over here, if I add these two, this is where it kind of gets tricky for some people because they got to remember that there's a sign out here, right? Okay, so if I add these two, I'd get negative 6y. But if I subtract them, negative 3y minus 3y would give me 0y. So that's kind of what we're looking for, right? So then you can do the same to the other parts of the equations. So now 2x minus 5x is going to be minus 3x. Whoops. Kind of want to make that a little prettier though, don't I? Let's do this. Minus 3x minus 0y. And then 11 minus 14 is equal to minus 3. So divide both sides by minus 3 because that's really just 0. X is equal to 1. And plug that 1 into either of these. I don't think it's any different for either of these. So I'm going to do 2 times x minus 3y is equal to 11. So I'm going to put my 1 into here. So now minus 3y is equal to 11 minus 2. Seems, yeah, that looks good, which gives me 9. So y is going to equal minus 3.